following podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Like what you hear? Want more of it ad-free, uncensored, and earlier? Sign up today at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and start getting more for as little as $2 a month. The following podcast may contain immature content created by Danny Parkhill and Michael Walsh. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
I'm sorry, if you're going to start sitting there and saying, oh, all these guys are, they aren't tough enough, and, we're in a different day and age, and everybody in my day did cocaine and shaved off Sean Waltman's eyebrows, like...
Andrew Kent, Drew Ferris, Adam Colton, Matt Sookrum. The rest are okay, I think.
Well, who else is
I like
just Jen?
But I like Jen.
Yeah, so do I.
And Jesse's with child. I can't.
Yeah,
Jesse's
and he's nothing. He's been nothing but good to me. I mean,
yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
But,
So
there's 6 in the first 30 seconds. So there you go.
The rest of them.
Sorry, Adam.
So much, and we're gonna be going right after the intro. We're gonna go straight into the of the week for 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm pissed off. Mm-hmm. Number 2, I guarantee Adam would prefer we leave the of the week for the second half hour for the Patreons.
No,
him.
We could just edit this out with relative ease, right?
This is the kind of mood I'm in today. I'm in a pissy mood today. I just want to just talk about all the that pisses me off, which is why I save it all for our show. It's not my fault that somebody decided to start bleeping out all my. Okay.
I've officially lost count. And we're a minute and 22 seconds.
However, if you're one of those who can't hear any of the them please, if you want to know how to hear my go over to www.patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Over there, give us some ducats, pay a little bit of cash, and you'll get all our shows, all 7 shows, plus more completely uncensored, fully uncut. The full 1 hour or whatever we decide to give you. Could be 3 hours for all I care. But it'll be 100% uncut. You don't hear any of these beeps and it'll be one less aneurysm for our Lord and Savior Adam Colton.
Right, you can go over to patreon.ca/WrestleMedia.ca and you can, for a small fee, behold our field of and see that it is barren.
I love that. The man who came up with the field of is not Michael Walsh.
Wait,
see what I did there?
Okay.
I know, right?
I'm very okay. Now I'm off. So I'm the one who came up with it. Is what you're saying?
Well, you coined the term field of.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so the one who does not give several F's in the field of. You see what I did there?
I do.
Right? Because he's not going to censor F's. But anyway, that guy is not Michael Walsh.
But he is. He's not Danny Parkhill.
Oh, sorry.
But this is the last thing, Mark. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. More than Adam Colton does, because we are actually giving you the product that you want every single week right here at WrestleMedia.ca. Or all over social media and all over your face, neck, and chest.
Okay, I'm gonna be going on a road trip with Satchel, Adam Colton. I'm gonna be going on a road trip with him in 3 days. And
you're gonna come and chill it in my house.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But I'm gonna have to hear about it first. Is the problem? We have probably a good 4 or 5 hours of driving in total. Oh, excuse me. And I'm going to hear about it first. It's going to be, you know what, franchise? I really wish you and Mike could just cool on the first half hour with the F word and S word and all that. And meanwhile, when we're in the car, me and Adam, when we're talking off air, like he's like almost as bad as I am. Not quite as bad as I am, but he's getting pretty close because like I have that influence on him, man. So it's.
Well, I remember the first time that I invited him on the Last Thing Mark like a year or so ago. And he goes, "Oh, I don't know if I'll fit in very well because I don't swear very much." I'm like, "Motherfucker, did you forget that I've known you for over 20 fucking years?"
That is bull.
Do I look like I fell out of the fucking yesterday? You.
Okay.
Anyways,
this entire show is going to be a big bleep, man. Like
I do remember
as we go.
I do remember there was a reason why I started off by saying Andrew Kent, and I can't even remember what it was now. I had a reason for him. There was something on his last show that pissed me off. I don't remember now.
Yeah, we have a lot of shit that pisses us off, though.
On one of his shows, anyways, yeah.
I was nice to them, too, last week. I was nice to them. Him and Jeff.
Well, you did call them Andrew Kant and Jeff DeCant.
Well, they can't. What can I say?
they just can't. All right, let's. You want to hit up some wrestling?
Yeah, let's do this, man.
All right, let's start off with some somber news, man. It's official. Well, I don't know. This is either somber news or good news. Depends who you are. It depends what you like. So Goldust is gone. No more Goldust. Yeah. We have seen the last of Goldust, but Dustin Runnels is doing what I assume is going to be his last professional match in AEW against his brother Cody at Double or Nothing. What do you think? Good choice by Cody?
Well, you know what? I think that. It's not even so much is it a good choice by Cody, more than is it a good thing for Dustin Rhodes to do. Sorry, I just bit my lip. That hurt. Is a good thing for Dustin Rhodes to do, and in short, I think yes. WWE is what I'm more shocked about is that WWE doesn't already have him on contract as like a producer, an agent, or something like that. Because
I think they tried, and apparently. I have no doubt that he will eventually come back to do that. To be perfectly honest,
I agree.
I from what I heard, he was very open and honest with Vince and the officials, saying, "Listen, this is what I want to do. I want to go and do this thing with him for Cody." And they were like, "Yeah, okay. You can't be Goldust."
Well, yeah, and of course he can't. But I mean, it doesn't. For AEW's purposes, it doesn't matter if he's Goldust or not. Everybody knows. Anybody who watches AEW is going, like, okay, maybe not everybody, but probably 99% of the audience watching AEW, at least the first couple of shows, is going to know who Dustin Rhodes is, right? Like, they know all about him. They know who he used to be. He used to be Goldust. He's Cody's brother, and all that kind of thing. So for AEW, I think it's a bigger thing than it even looks like, because I agree. First of all, it allows if in fact Dustin Rhodes is only having one more match against his brother, which I don't think is the case. I think he's going to go for a little bit longer. But if that's the case, he could then just turn around and work with all the AEW guys, right? And work on work on whatever they need to work on. Again, the man is a walking, like, I can't say it enough. He's Dusty Rhodes' kid. He's Dusty Rhodes' oldest child. He's seen everything that his father has done in his career, and to an extent emulated.
Not only that, but the man has gone off and created something that his father never could have.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, because I will give Dusty credit for certain things with Dustin, and a lot of credit for his stuff with Cody. But Dustin, during the time that he was having problems with his father, and he went off and he says, "I'm going to create myself," I think Dustin went off and not only created a character for himself, but learned things and taught himself things in the business that he did not learn from his father. I think he had a different career than his father did.
And I agree 100%. And you can, you could also say that, okay, well, yeah, it's, Dustin came up in a different time and in a different era and all that, and that's all fine and good, but it doesn't change the fact that Dustin Rhodes has that, he was lucky enough to be Dusty Rhodes' kid, and yes, he did get some of his wrestling knowledge from Dusty, who is literally, like, the wrestling version of God.
one of, if not, I wouldn't, like, me personally, I wouldn't say but one of the top greatest wrestling minds in history.
Well, that's a conversation we'll have to have one day, because I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that would fit that role more than Dusty Rhodes. Maybe Kortney, but that's it. And even I don't necessarily.
Vince McMahon.
We'll get there. Let's talk about that a little later.
But, yeah.
But anyway, my point.
Not going to bury the lead here.
Yeah, my point is that even if Dustin Rhodes never stepped foot in an AEW ring, like they could not do this Cody versus Dustin Rhodes match at all, and I still think it'd be a great pickup for AEW. Again, who knows what the plan is for him after this whole match with Cody? If he's retiring, like, for good, that's good. Or if he decides to carry on for a little bit, maybe he's got some more left in the tank. I don't know. But the point is that he's going to be a great... Excuse me. What's wrong with you? He's going to be great backstage, like in a producer role and as an agent.
Absolutely.
For AEW, right? They need that
for
kind
anywhere.
Of for anywhere.
For anywhere.
But
even
AEW,
WWE would be lucky to have him back. For sake, if he went to any indie league, he could help them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And but I mean, what my it's AEW. And this is going to sound wrong, but AEW needs Dustin Rhodes a lot more than WWE needs Dustin Rhodes.
Of course.
Right now. Right? But,
no, it doesn't sound wrong at all. The AEW hasn't proved themselves yet.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And they could use a legend and a veteran like Dustin to help them prove themselves. Absolutely. I don't think that's an insulting thing to say at all. Yeah, I really don't.
And I mean, look at the guys that they're surrounding themselves with, right? They got Dustin now, they got Billy Gunn, who, again, has been in the business for 25 years? He's been around the block.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking
He is
about.
the most decorated tag team champion in fucking history.
Exactly.
I mean, I can't prove that off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
Yeah, well, if he's not, he's pretty close.
But he is. Yeah, Billy is not only one of the greats, but Billy's a guy that we grew up with. Meaning, a lot of the guys in AEW grew up with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're telling me that the Lucha Brothers or the Young Bucks didn't grow up watching the Smoking Guns? Of course they did.
Well, and you see, that's kind of my point, right? Is that the AEW talent, with the exception of Cody and dark matches for Daniels and Kazarian, who there has had any experience with WWE? Like who there's no one that's had a huge level of, and I don't mean this to sound insulting, there's no one there that's had that huge name value in WWE.
They haven't been on the big stage.
Exactly. There's nobody saying there like, like, for example, I was watching Being the Elite yesterday. What were their names? There was a tag team that they introduced. And I forget the name, but I've never heard of them before, right? And I'm a pretty hardcore wrestling fan. I have never heard of these guys before, but they sold me on it, right? And that's because, they have like all these packages highlighting them, and you can tell that they're beginning to work with some of those names, right? They're beginning to work with Billy Gunn about, hey, here's how, you guys got the high flashy moves, but here's how to get yourselves over as a heel, or talk to Dustin about, okay, here's the proper way to do a lockup, right? Your lockups look cool, but you want to make it look aggressive and angry. Here's how you do it, right? Even basic stuff like that. These guys have not had the opportunity to go through something like, WWE developmental or some sort of program like that. So this is a good way, bringing in guys like Billy Gunn and Dustin Rhodes and the countless other guys that they've been working with. is great to get these guys that experience, you know?
Even to a lesser degree, Cody himself.
Yeah.
Because Cody, you know, how many other people in the AEW roster can say they've been on WrestleMania?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, right? Is like,
you know what I mean?
You know, Cody is the only one who's worked significantly for the WWE. Right?
Cody is not a, well, you have Jericho, of course.
Oh, Jericho. I'm sorry. You see, you know what's f***ed up? I forgot about Jericho.
Well, that's it, because when you're thinking of the core group, and yeah, you really should think of Jericho as the core group because he's doing as much as anybody else to push this product.
Yeah.
But it's just a thing. When I think of Jericho, I'm still not thinking of him as an AEW guy. He will always be a WWE guy to me.
Which, you know, and that's a fair assessment because, again, like, you grew up with him, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like, he was WWE's guy from, like, 1999 to what? 2016, something like that.
Last year,
you know.
Seriously, even when he was gone, he was never really gone.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly, right. So I mean,
and even in the times when he was kind of, you know, fooling around with other leagues, he never put himself into another league the way he is with AEW.
Yeah, well, because the big rumor and innuendo, was when he signed with New Japan. It's like, okay, well, you know, I'll work a couple shows for New Japan because they're offering me a lot of money, but I promised Vince that I wouldn't work any promotion inside North America. And then that turned into, well, okay, I'll work with New Japan in North America, but that's because I've already, you know, had an established relationship with them and yada, yada, yada. And now it comes out, it's like, okay, well, Vince's main competition that's coming up, I'm going to work for them. So,
yeah.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
All right, let's move on from Goldust to let's talk some rockers, bud.
Okay, let's do it.
And by that I mean the next two stories each have to do with one half of the rockers. Story number one.
Did Jannetty try to his daughter again?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna start with Shawn Michaels. I'm gonna read you something that Shawn put on an interview as of late, and I want to get your opinion on it because I'm a little on it here. So Shawn goes to say there's a lot of good, wonderful, decent men in the business today, and because of that, the business suffers. We were all a bunch of no-good young guys who were taught by an even bigger bunch of no-good old-timers. There was a rebellious, take-no-prisoners attitude, not afraid of being unpopular, pushing the envelope kind of culture, and I think that helped us. What do you think of that statement from Shawn?
Now, Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest all-time talents, right? Let's get this out of the way. There's no disputing that the man had talent, and that, and still does to an extent. You know, he was a fantastic in-ring worker. He's on a lot of people's top 10 lists, and that's totally understandable because he was really, really f***ing good at what he did.
Yeah.
That said, this is the mother who pissed and moaned to Vince Russo and Jim Cornette when he got in a fight with Bret Hart and Bret pulled a clump of hair out of his head and called it an unsafe working environment. That's being a I'm sorry, if you're going to start sitting there and saying, oh, all these guys are, you know, they aren't tough enough and, you know, we're in a different day and age and everybody in my day did cocaine and shaved off Sean Waltman's eyebrows, you know, like.
And let's be honest, man, Sean was never tough. Sean hung out with a bunch of tough
Marines almost killed Shawn Michaels if it wasn't for Davey Boy Smith getting in there, for sake.
Exactly.
Shawn wasn't a tough guy. He got his kicked in all the time. Because he was a like,
I would buy this coming from somebody like Kevin Nash, okay? Or someone else from that era. But Sean, come on, dude. Yeah. And let's be honest. Where did being a no good fucking rebellious take no prisoners guy get you? yeah, it got you a hell of a career back then, but it also almost put you in your grave, and now you're a Christian.
It didn't get him booked for 4 years, is what it did for him, because he everybody was sick of him. Like, that's why, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, like, if you look at WWE history, the whole canon is, okay, well, yeah, Shawn got a back injury, so he retired. And it's like, actually, Shawn was pilled up to the gills and was pissing everybody off. So they told him to go himself and get clean before he comes back. You know, like,
I'm not going to shit on the old school, okay? I'm not going to shit on the Billy Jack Haynes and guys like that who were legit bastards. You know what I mean? Because you know,
that's the name you come up with. Like, you could have gone with Haku. You could have gone.
I wasn't trying to think of tough guys. I was trying to think of right out. But you know what I mean though, like that, because that was the time, that was the era. But we talk about this almost every week about the progression of wrestling. I like where we've gotten in wrestling.
I agree. 100%.
You look at the group of kids they got now, and yes, they are nice guys. Why does Sean think it's hurting the product? I think that's ridiculous.
You see, that's what baffles me, because I mean, if you look back at, like, wrestling, just like everything else in entertainment or in sports or in life, changes, right? Like, eventually everything is going to change. One way or the other, it's going to happen. It's going to happen again years from now, touch wood, when Vince McMahon dies, like, hopefully in a couple of decades. Hopefully the man's got some, you know, juice left in the tank. But, you know, like,
he'd be personally mad at you for insinuating that he's going to die at all.
Touche. Good point. But you know, like, if you look back in, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, you know, that's when the original, you know, rock and wrestling era was starting to fade out, and people were sort of like, okay, that's, you know, that's it, and we're done with that. And what it turned into was wrestling. Like, everybody's opinion of wrestling was, well, it's all filled with guys on, you know, jacked up on steroids and on pills. And if you look at a lot of the guys backstage, they were all jacked up on steroids and on pills, like Shawn Michaels. So, you know, like, it's like, I don't understand how getting...
I like the fact that, you know, your guys are dependable these days. Nobody has to say, hey, it's showtime in 10 minutes. Where are the rockers? Oh, I think they're double teaming.
Yeah, really, eh? Hey, where's Dynamite Kid? Oh, he just got his fucking teeth knocked out by Dynamite, or, you see, now I'm mixing it all up. Where's Dynamite Kid? He got his teeth knocked out by B. Brian Blair, whoever the it was. No, do you remember that story, though? No, it was the Rougeaus. Sorry, it was the Rougeaus.
If we're gonna censor anything, it should be that Bosh.
Well, yeah. No, it was the Rougeau brothers. They grabbed a roll of quarters and punched Dynamite Kid in the face and broke
I totally forgot about that.
So, I mean, it's like, here's the deal. You don't hear stories about, Seth Rollins came in and busted Big E in the face with a roll of quarters, and, you know, you're going to see him all busted up, and you don't hear stories like, Dean Ambrose tried to, some military dude's wife, so, he got out of him, and Kofi Kingston had to run out and kick a dude in the face to get him off of, you don't hear about that.
If the plane ride from hell was to happen today, it would have been because, Seth Rollins stole Roman Reigns' fucking carton of milk.
That's the thing, right? Like, the biggest thing you hear about these days is like, Charlotte's Almas there. Like, that's the biggest scandal you hear about these days.
And then the old racist motherfuckers Vince and Rick are all pissed off about it. Oh, what the f***? She can't be going to. Are you f***ing kidding me?
But no, that's my point. The whole point is that, like, the guys are nicer, and they might not be as, I don't know if you want to say tough, but I mean, they might not be looking for a fight as much as, some of the guys in the 80s. That's a good thing. That's good for the business. I don't know. I don't understand how that's a bad thing.
Jumping over to the other side of the barbershop window. Lately, Just a couple of days ago on social media, I think it was on Facebook. This is what Marty Jannetty wrote on his Facebook page.
Okay, hon, it's hard stop right now. The last time I heard a story about Marty Jannetty writing anything on social media, he was asking people if it was okay. Okay?
Okay.
So it can't be any worse
This isn't
than
that bad. It's not.
It can't
It's
be
really
any
not.
worse than that.
It's not worse than that, but it's just as funny. So this is this is what Marty wrote. Of all the things I've done in my life, and it's been a lot, some of the it don't even matter. Okay, if you've ever read anything by Marty, his grammar is horrible, so forgive me. If you don't believe it, but one thing I haven't done, I have never had sex with a blind girl.
Oh, for sake.
I loves my blind people. They're more special than us who can see. Just wondering if... Just wondering if I can make them smile. They deserve it. To me, they're better than us.
Smile?
With his
Is his daughter blind?
he might make her blind and then want to her. Who knows?
Oh, that's terrible. That's just...
I just don't understand the man. I
You
don't.
see, going back to the last topic, that's what's on old school wrestling. Okay? Like, half the fucking guys, you got Iron Sheik, who's a joke at this point. Tony Atlas, whose biggest thing in the past 3 years has been, hey, I think the Bella Twins table above him while he... And then you have Marty Jannetty trying to his daughter and blind people. Like... And then you're going to sit there and tell me, you're going to sit there and tell me that the new crop of kids is worse off than those guys.
Yeah, these are your Shawn Michaels, but it's the new, but it's Roman Reigns and Johnny Gargano are the ones ruining wrestling today.
Johnny Gargano's never gotten a glass bottom boat, boys. Like that's.
I mean, if he did, I wouldn't judge him. Candice LeRae. I mean, okay, we've got 4 minutes left until during like of the censored part.
This is not. This can't be the censored part, dude. We just talked about.
No, the first half hour. It's the first half hour. The first half hour is the censored part. We've got 4 minutes now of the censored part. Let's do the of the week.
Okay, now let's get this out of the way because you and I didn't talk about this before. Let's not mention any names. No, because first of all, that'd be the opposite of what we want to do here.
I know,
and let's on
I will
this
be,
particular gentleman.
I will be professional.
Okay,
I will be professional, which is what this wasn't to me.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Let's go.
Okay, so what we're gonna say right now is both Danny and I are huge fans of independent wrestling.
Yes.
We've mentioned this 1,000 times on this show, and we do our best to promote independent wrestling. Now, there is a local independent wrestling, and that's not throwing anything away because there's a lot of independent wrestling right here in the GTA. But there's one here that I have been personally fond of lately, and they are doing a show in the future where one of the competitors is somebody that I have been dying to get on this show.
Right.
So I went out of my way to offer the promoter of this company free advertising and a bunch of stuff on our show. And I was very polite about it. It was very cool. I told him how much I love his product, and I said all I want in return is access to this particular worker. And the sends me a message back with like 50 ha-ha-has, basically telling me that I should pay him for having to read my email.
No, not he didn't basically say it. He said it.
No,
he said you
did
should pay me $250.
Yeah. Now, I didn't insult this man's intelligence. I didn't insult his product. I didn't insult anything. If anything, I did the exact opposite. If he didn't want to do business with us, fine. No problem. No problem.
The deal is like we are, we as, and I'm speaking in terms of as a podcast network, WrestleMedia, we're still growing, right? We have lots of room to improve, and we have lots of room to grow, and that's what we're trying to do, right? And sometimes we do take shots that maybe are a little bit above what a lot of people are willing to accommodate us for, or that is not worth it to them, and that's 100% understandable. We're of the opinion that,
hey man, to quote the great one, and I'm not talking about The Rock.
You literally took the words right out of my mouth, because that was just what I was about to say.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly, right?
So we take all our shots.
Yeah, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? I mean,
it usually doesn't.
we get that's the thing. Probably we get a lot of rejection, and then every once in a while, we get a great partner like Jan Murphy and Justin Cousineau over at Chinlock Wrestling, where they say, you know what? Yeah, do whatever you want. Set up a table. Advertise your stuff. Do all this kind of thing.
And I said this to Adam. I think maybe I've been spoiled. Maybe getting to know Jan and seeing the way that he and Justin run Chinlock and everything they've done for us made me forget how some promoters can be.
Yeah. Well,
because I have now seen how amazing some promoters can be. Because Jan Murphy is, without a doubt, the great... And I've met a lot of promoters, and this is not a slight to any of the other ones I've met, but Jan Murphy is the greatest promoter that I've ever dealt with. And I've never even met him in person.
I've met probably 75-ish, well, maybe a little less, but I've met a good number of promoters. And I can think of 3 off the top of my head that I would say are excellent promoters and deserve everybody's respect for, actually, now that I think about it. But still, and in this particular case, we, again, going back to what we were talking about, we took that shot, and maybe it was a little lofty. Maybe it was something that, he probably, if he read the email and said, you know what, these guys are too small time, $250 worth of advertising isn't going to do us anything. It's going to cost me more money than it's worth to put these guys over. It's not worth it. That's totally fine.
He wasn't even putting us over, though. It was just, all I asked was to get access to his locker room.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? It's not like I was asking him to put our banner up at his show or to
But, short answer, I can understand why someone wouldn't want to do that. And that's totally 100% cool. What is not cool is somebody like that. And it gives everybody in the wrestling business a bad name. And that's the bottom line. It makes people look like it makes your promotion look like it makes everybody who wants to work for you look like which I know they aren't, because I know a lot of those guys personally, and they are very talented people, right?
Which is why I would not bring up their name, because I'm not going to shit on this promotion, because I like a lot of the workers in the promotion.
And I agree with you wholesomely. And I mean, even if we did on it, quite frankly, people are going to buy tickets to it anyway. So who the
True.
Cares? It just bothers us, right? Because I mean, it's so f***ed up. Like, again,
we worked hard
there was
on
no
this
reason. That's the thing. I guarantee, unless this dude has a trust fund or something, which a lot of promoters do, so who the knows? But unless this promoter had a trust fund or something, I guarantee at one point he was in our shoes, and he was trying to work himself up to
100%.
to the position that he's at now. And he's done very well for himself, quite frankly. But I mean...
Now, this particular promotion has been lucky enough to been able to align themselves with a bigger promotion as of late.
Yes.
And get their workers some TV time and like that, which is awesome for them.
Now you're blurring the lines here, sir. Don't advertise for free. Don't ever give the gimmick away for free.
Hey, there's more than one TV show on. There's lots of TV shows. Anyways. But what if, when they were trying to make these deals with this bigger company, they were told to go themselves?
Yeah, exactly. That's what again. It's. I'm not upset about them saying no. I'm not upset about them.
No,
saying,
neither am I.
Even if he said behind our backs, like his buddy's like, man, these guys are jokes. Like, what do they think? I'm an idiot? Like, sure, whatever. You do you, buddy. That's fine. But to send someone an email basically saying go yourself and your podcast network,
yeah,
not cool. And it does nothing for anybody.
Yet Yet I went out of my way about 2 weeks earlier than that to reach out to Black Label Pro, which is one of my favorite indie leagues in the States.
Yeah.
And we were unable to come to a deal because I could not reach the financial goal that we had decided on, unfortunately. But they were willing to do business with us.
Yeah. And that's the way it should be. You know what? Like, okay.
The conversation. And let me tell you right now, Black Label is 10,000 times bigger and has way better workers than the other promotion. Yeah. Okay, and let me tell you that. I believe that. So, anyways, that's all we'll say about that. I just wanted to get that off my chest because it really makes me sound like a. But it hurt my feelings, man. It really did. I work hard on this podcast. I work hard for this network, and I worked hard at trying to get this particular worker on our show. And it's like if this guy was working at Chinlock, and I said, "Hey, Jan, man, I love this guy. I really want him on the show," and Jan couldn't swing it. Jan would have been like, "Sorry, dude, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. I'm sorry."
Yeah, and that's a totally acceptable answer, right? Or again, even if he did think like, "Man, these guys are marks," like these guys, I'm not going to work with them. That's fine on your own time and your own private, privacy, your own home, whatever. That's all fine. But like doing an email like that, it does nothing for anybody but make you look like a small loser.
Exactly.
Like,
so,
and I'm a man.
So last thing I'll say is that guy. Yeah. All right.
On long time, Michael.
On behalf of my funk soul brother over there.
Nice. I like what you did there.
I, of course, was not Danny Parkhill.
I was not Michael Walsh.
But this was the last thing, Mark. Thank you so much for being here. But the next time you hear from us, we'll have been to and back from not only, we will have been back from the Impact Rebellion pay-per-view, which will be fun. But Adam and Danny will be back from the Napanee show, the Chinlock show.
That's right.
Which Danny will talk about big time next week, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, but I will be at Impact. So my first Impact show, which is I'm looking forward to.
Me too, actually. Which is they had tapings like 20 minutes from my house. I had no excuse not to go, and I just didn't.
So you have to come all the way to Toronto to go to a show.
Apparently,
yeah. But no, it'll be a fun show. It's unfortunate that you and Adam can't stay a little longer than you are, because the very next night they're at the same venue, and Rob Van Dam is going to be at Impact that night.
See, blame Comtown for that, because I can stay. I have until the Wednesday off, but
yeah, but
maybe we will.
Maybe you will, because I got Mondays off, man. Just saying. All right, let's do it. Hugs, kisses. And, man, B2.
What? Oh, no. What is...
See? You don't get it, which means no one else will. So my plan worked.
Just... Bye.
Love you.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
I mean, being 1,000,000% fair, and I'm a huge Jericho fan, right? He's in my top 5, and that guy could get in the middle of the ring, and I'd still pop for it. But in terms of as we talked about before, you see Chris Jericho, you associate him with WWE. Even him working in New Japan, even him working at AEW, you still associate him with WWE. Punk has been out of the business for 6 years, 7 years at this point.
And let's be honest, when you think of Punk, who are his fans?
Marks.
They're the smart marks. They're the smart marks.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.